What's up, everyone? We are here with episode 4 of Now You Know. Today we have a local guest from Staten Island. I don't know if he's from Staten Island. We'll get to it. He owns one of the sickest automotive customization shops and about 27 other businesses that I can't keep up with. Rob Gullery of Never Ride Stock. Rob, thank you for being on. Let's get to it, my man.
Nice to be here, Jeremy. I want to know why I'm the fourth person. I mean, we always talk. Why am I number 4?
Have you ever heard that rhyme? You know, first is the worst, second is the best. They extended it. Now fourth is like the Mecca.
So
that's the one.
So I'm actually
You're the one.
You warmed up on 3, so we're ready to go.
Yes. By the way, a lot of good fourth picks have come out who have been the best players in the league.
That's true.
So just remember
you got to
that,
think
okay?
about that.
You got to think about it.
There's been some busts, all right?
There have.
But Dante wasn't a bust, was he?
No.
All right.
That boy can shoot.
Yeah,
He's
he can
a
shoot.
Great defender too.
Yeah.
So Rob, what we do here a lot is, we talk about people's come up, right? What they've done to get to where they are. Bro, I can't even, and I have a lot of things going on myself. I can't even keep up with everything you have going on.
Yeah. So
let's just talk about first. What are all your businesses, right? Let's obviously Never Ride Stock. Tell us about that, but tell us all your things you have going on.
So,
I mean, my guy's got a basketball court in his freaking office.
Yeah, we enjoy that. Enjoy that, but
yeah.
that only came later in life.
Right.
I was under cars changing oil. That's how I started, right?
Sure.
And we had a.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So tell us what your current businesses are.
Okay, so right now we have Never Ride Stock, which is basically we do lifts, wheels, and all types of customizations. Across the street, we have NRS coatings, where I don't have to tell you about that. We do color swaps, we do PPF, we do tint. That's with my partner Christian. He's awesome. Vinny, and Ray, they're unbelievable guys. Upstairs we have NRS Sneakers, which is a real deal.
Okay.
Then we have NRS Industries, where we have our own sneaker cleaner. And yes, we came out with our own
sneaker
cleaning products. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So, which is all under NRS Industries. That's my other partner, Mark Seppi. So we have those hitting Amazon right after the show.
Right now.
Yeah.
So is that where you're at right now?
And
4?
That's 5.
Okay, that's 5.
That's
I'm
5.
sorry.
Yeah, that's 5.
Not a great counter.
Yeah. Well, at least it's not 4, right?
Yeah.
It's 5. Okay.
I see what you did there.
All right. So we got 5.
So you have 5 businesses going. I mean, what is that like? Is that mayhem for you? I mean, do you have you? When's the last time you slept?
Yeah. So you're always thinking and you're always dreaming, right? And then if you believe in the way the world works, right? You put it out there, and you really hope it's successful. You always hope that you want to be successful, but you can't make it about just money. Because if you hope for money or you dream for money, that's not how it works in this world. You know what I'm saying? You give, you get.
That's right. That's
the
product.
I mean? Yeah, and it's not about like I like when people come out and say, I'm into philanthropy. Yeah, we all are. Then don't talk about it, right? That's how I feel about that. But
when you do a lot.
Yeah, but when you give, you get, right? And that's a fact. What I did learn going on, you can't do everything yourself. So I was lucky enough to take on partners along the way, between Tony at Tire Empire, Christian with the tints, Vinny with the PPF, Ray with the vinyl, Mark Seppi with the sneakers, and now we're going into products and stuff like that. You need good partners, People used to say partners for dancing, right? If you have the right partners, it's not true.
Yeah, it makes things a lot easier.
Partners make it easier, just like you guys here.
And more fun, right? And it's more fun, too.
True.
You get to share, the experiences with one another, et cetera.
You guys have a good podcast. You're like, hey, Will, way to go. Jeremy, wasn't that great? Like,
exactly.
You need partnerships.
No, you get feedback, too, right? It's important.
Partnerships also teach you how to deal with your sponsors, right? They're your partners. Your customers end up being your partners in one way or another, right?
100%.
Because they're the ones pushing your business.
It's true.
So it's important to keep your ego in check because I have no ego, but I did when I was your age. I wanted to take over the world.
Yeah,
now I want to share the world, still take it over.
That's awesome.
With
I
a
like
bunch of
that.
Yeah.
So then let's get to where you did start, right? Because everybody does start somewhere, right?
Yep.
A podcast could start with 100 followers and grow to 100 million.
And I hope it does for you.
Thank you. And a business can start with you, like you said, under cars, changing oil, and now have a basketball court in your office. So
3-generation business, started in 1942. It's called Will Jones Auto Service, my grandfather.
That was your grandfather?
Yeah, my grandfather and my uncle. My father had bigger sites, took over in 1970. Again, grew the business. We bought the property across the street, and he made one mistake. He said, you pay for that building, we're going to be partners. Well, guys, it was 1989 when you would trip on money. You poor guys got to work so hard to make your money now.
It's a lot different.
It's a lot different. So I paid off the building in 3 years. I was 24 years old. I'm like, oh, so are we partners now, Dad? He's like, I'll never go back on my word. He put some stipulations in there, and there you go. We were off to the races.
Wow.
From that, in 2001, I brought on window tinting, and I put the building up, which is called Wheel Concepts.
So the original business was
Will John's Auto Service.
So oil change, tire rotations.
Literally, that's all it was, my man. I was a mechanic, and I enjoyed being a mechanic.
You go to school for a mechanic, or just
school
of hard knocks?
I went to school at 14, just get over there and work on that car.
Exactly. Right.
But it was good because it kept me in line.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I used to like to go out a lot. So
was your dad a strict guy or no?
He's a great man. He was strict in the fact that you had to be there 7 o'clock, but he didn't care if you came home 3 o'clock in the morning, as long as you're at work at 7. Because that's what made you toe that line of not going too crazy, right?
Absolutely.
As long as you had to be there. But he gave me a lot of opportunities, and I'm so as you get older, you realize what your parents did for you. You don't realize it when you're younger.
It's actually like a messed up thing, You start thinking, especially like when you have your kids of your own, like. It's weird, You're almost like, how the hell did they do this, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So you're there, okay?
I take over in 90, and my wife tells the story the best. I didn't give the key to anybody for 7 years. So if I didn't open the shop at 7, the shop didn't open because I just had this thing. We were open 7 days a week, and she'd be like, "You're insane. You're going to work at 7 o'clock." But that was my regiment. You know what I mean? And
did you like doing that?
I loved it.
Did you?
I loved it.
Okay. Do you ever miss it?
I don't miss opening. And you got to remember, I'm getting up there now, so I slow down a little bit, but I still go to work every day. I love the hustle.
Yeah,
I love the hustle. You Jeremy, you see me.
You're the
I love
definition
running around,
of hustler. Oh my! Yeah. Will and I, who's producing this, we talk about it sometimes. Even during like last year, I remember we saw you at the auto show. I mean,
controlled chaos.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know how
controlled chaos. You run around, you're screaming, "Let's go!" You get the energy level up. You got 16 sneaker artists. You got 20 people working on cars.
Must be having a lot of caffeine or something.
Yeah, no, you know what? I go to sleep for 3 days after that show was over. Yeah. I just lay in bed like this. I know, bring me a roast beef sandwich.
That's amazing. Yeah. So you take it over in 90, and when did 2001? You said it builds to.
It builds
10?
to Then we go Wheel Concepts. We put the wheels upstairs. That's when wheels are really in vogue. You know what I'm saying?
Those 5 stars.
Yeah, we're rocking. I think we did a little Kim video, with Flex. Like that's how far I'm going back. I think I had the first set of 24s.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and then the game changed. It became more coatings, right? And thank God I had a partner in Christian Zagami that said, "Lucy, we got to go this way." You know what I'm saying? Because that's the future, And then I went performance for a bit, right, guys? And then performance got too expensive. So now I went back to coatings. Coatings and wheels are back in vogue.
So powder coating, stuff like that,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, but when I say coatings, I mean like PPF for the cars,
right?
Vinyl color changes. You know?
So when did like PPF and vinyl, when did that get popular?
So
because it feels like it's just kind of recent.
I feel like I just was dumb to the game because people have been making a lot of money doing it for many years. For the very wealthy. It's just you make it more accessible now.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything doesn't have to be 10,000. Yeah,
you have a big clientele.
Yeah,
right
now we've been very lucky.
And you're based in Staten Island.
Based in Staten Island, but we get cars from as far as sometimes even Florida, Connecticut.
Do they really ship them in?
Yeah, if you a lot of people live on both coasts, right? So
of course
they'll ship it if they know you, and vice versa. Some guys in Florida get people from New York. That's how it works.
Who are some of your bigger clientels in like the celebrity world?
Well, thanks to people like Mike, Custom Furniture Unlimited. Little shout there. We got Tracy
Morgan.
Tracy Morgan. We got.
He's
Nate.
Got a few nice cars.
You think?
Is a LaFerrari good or?
Yeah. Oh my God! And when he comes in, he sits for 2 hours and tells jokes for 2 hours.
That's the best. Yeah, he's amazing.
So we get to see the whole preview of his next show.
So you got Tracy,
Nate, Joe has blessed us so
Nate
many
Burleson,
times.
right?
Yeah. Fat Joe has blessed us so many times.
Fat Joe.
Yeah.
So you have some big hitters out there.
Back in the day, we were doing a lot of basketball players.
Okay.
Back then, a lot of them didn't like to pay. We had some good ones. Vince Carter used to come in and everybody. But now, the way I see it, everybody's a star.
Yeah.
Because if you have an influencer, that's even bigger for you coming in, right? If an
100%.
influencer comes in and shouts you out,
yeah,
you're getting out there.
Yeah.
But there's no bigger.
Have you noticed that has had an effect on your business, by the way?
Big time. But don't get fooled by the social media, Jeremy. I'm going to tell you something. I sat at a round table for Expel, and there was the 12 richest guys in the United States there, and one guy had 297 followers. And he was making about 10 million a year, 20 million a year. Yeah. So it's not always the social media, as what they explained to me is, ready? Advertisement interruption. I like this. meaning they're going to scroll, they're going to see your name, but your Google AdWords and your reputation still matters a lot.
Reputation's
So,
huge.
so your
That's
reputation
something we do.
in the expensive car game, the high-end car game, it is more about reputation.
Really?
Clothing companies, all that, absolutely. Social media, it means the world, but energy drinks,
What
all that.
percentage are you, though, in your current business? Let's just say, I guess all your businesses, but mainly let's just say the wrap tint business. What percentage word of mouth are you?
Listen to me. Relationships is what
You're a big
that's my
relationship guy.
expertise. It is
Yeah,
because once I'm with you, we're not breaking up.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a marriage, like that's my thing is relationships.
So you think word of mouth is 95%?
How about 65?
65?
Right? Yeah, 65.
And what's the other?
Events, grassroots marketing is still very big to get the local cause. Like this auto show, we took over from the Dub Show about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And Dub Show did it really well for a long time. Now we have the Never Right Stock Experience at the Jacob Javits. So they gave us press week.
That's no
We
joke.
broke the attendance record last year, the second weekend.
Wow.
We really did. And I'm not they will tell you. So now we have press week. ABC News is going to be with us Thursday at 10 a.m. At the auto show. And it's all about cars and kicks, guys. So that's my revelation was cars and kicks.
Are you a big sneakerhead?
So I would like to say I am. I love customizing them, but I am nothing compared to everybody else.
Oh, some people are out there.
Listen, my partners teach me about it all the day. I'm that is not my world. But you know what? Of course, I love sneakers.
I was over there the other day, and I didn't realize you do golf. I'm a big golfer. You do golf shoes too.
So Dan Marino, scratch golfer.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. Got us into the golf world. And I'm gonna be honest with you. We did Adios Golf Course. You've heard of it, right?
Of course. I had it last week. I had an Adios hat on the podcast.
Yeah. So I think it's $350 to get in. Yeah. So we did about a higher than that.
No
Thank
comment.
you, Jeremy. So
No
no
comment.
comment. So
It's hard to get in.
We did about, I'm gonna say, 200 custom pairs for them for their member.
Did you really?
And I'm not making
Oh, you
that
did
up
it for
yet.
the member?
We did their member.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I got to
and-
see what those look like.
Yeah, this weekend is member guest. We'll probably get another 50 orders, hopefully. Danny, go get them.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's playing in the member guest
Yeah.
right. That's this weekend at Adios. So country clubs are a big kick for us.
That's a
with the
good
golf
one.
Shoes, yeah.
So what do you they could just tell you this is the shoe we want and this is what we want?
We want a logo, color swoosh, this
Yeah.
and that. Whoever wants, specialty sneakers, we do that on the side also.
That's awesome.
Obviously. So the guys that work for me, they don't just paint sneakers. They're actually cobblers that were trained at Golden Goose in Italy and stuff
Really?
like that. Yeah. And then what we do is that's my little core four, I call it. But then we're lucky enough to work with some outside artists like Alex Alpert and MC Kicks. Now they're individual artists. I want
Sure.
to make that clear. But when we have an event, we all go together like the NBA weekend in Indianapolis. You were down there, right?
Very cool.
Of course, right?
Very
you
cool.
You were down the parties there.
I actually didn't go, not this year. I was at the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl you went to.
Yeah, Super Bowl I went to.
I went to NBA and it was 12 degrees and it was miserable, but the activation was great.
Yeah,
The
Indy's a
activation
tough
was
city,
full
by
out
the
there,
way.
yeah.
I mean, not a bad city, but it's
It was
a
the
tough
weather
city
was tough
when it's
Yeah.
cold like
Yeah.
that, and it's not exactly everything's close together. So
Yeah. People were real nice, but yes,
yeah,
it was.
that's awesome.
But so what we're trying to do is we're trying to put a traveling band together. So we'll be at F1 Montreal with Expel
Ooh,
doing a sneaker activation
F1 is
with
big
them.
right now.
Yeah, F1 Montreal. I hear it's set up. I heard it's amazing, Jeremy.
is
so.
Expel the leading rap company in the world? I mean, tell me.
Bar none.
Yeah,
Bar none. They have passed 3.
you won't even work with
they-
any
they-
other.
Chris Hardy is one of their national. He's basically in charge of all national sales. He has brought them to another level, my man.
What makes it better though? Is it the actual product, or do
It's-
they stand
it's-
behind the product? Or?
That's a good question. I like that question. So yeah, so 3M is like the biggest coatings company in the world, right?
Sure.
Across, obviously, right, with billions of dollars.
All I hear is
But-
Expel.
But guess what? Expel is $1 billion company,
Are they really?
publicly traded, okay, and is still growing at a great pace. Do you
Wow.
understand? So their advertising is second to none. Their locators, but they have NASCAR. They have they do drag racing. I just saw a 16-year-old riding a motorcycle, an Expel branded motorcycle at 109 miles. A young lady, 16 years old. Like they are on it. as
Easy to
far
work
as-
with too.
Easy to work with.
Are you a big car guy yourself?
I love cars.
Yeah. Do you have a car collection?
I had a lot of cars when I was younger.
Okay.
And I think I was 37, 38, and a customer came in and he said, I have more cars than you. And this is when I had an ego. And this is when I stopped having an ego. I said, you know what you do? And I want to work on every one of them. It was a pissing match. You know what I'm saying?
Turned it into a.
From that day on, I ended up getting an apartment in the city. I don't really Not that I don't care about my car, but I'm not gonna pay for 2 parking spots in the
Yeah,
city, you know.
exactly.
So I park my Bronco on the street.
That's
But yeah, no, I
amazing.
still love cars.
So what was, of all the cars you've had, what was your favorite car?
So believe it or not, I had built like lifted taxi cabs, donks. Like I was
Lifted
wild. Oh, I had 3 or 4 donks. Like yeah,
That's what they're called?
they were called donks. Yeah, they were from down south. The 24s, the Chevy Caprices. Dropped,
Wow.
rolling. So yeah, I used to love the.
That's the type of
off
car you
the
like?
wall. Yeah,
Right.
and I think that. Good.
Anything like exotic though?
No, I wasn't an exotic guy. And again, I got a funny story. So I had a watch that was given to me by a friend, and I was sitting at a table. We used to go out a lot
What type
in
of
the
watch
city.
was it?
It was a Tag Heuer back in the time. I guess about 2,500. Just
Big,
hear me
big
out.
watch back in the day though.
Back then, right? We're going back. And I remember sitting at the table, who had a Rolex with diamonds, this and that. And they said, "You're wearing that?" I never wore a watch before. I was a pretty wealthy guy. And I said, "It was given to me by a friend." They go, but it's a Tag Heuer. And I remember taking it and dropping it in the glass of water. I said, well, there it is right there. I says, I will never go out to dinner with you guys again until you realize that it's not the watch that makes the man. I ended up taking the watch out of the glass. Thank God I didn't have to. It was given to by a friend. I was proving a point to everybody at the table.
Wow.
And at that point, again, around that age.
Were these good friends of yours?
They were business friends. You know what I'm saying? Back
yeah.
then, everybody was a stockbroker, right?
Yeah,
Do you know
exactly.
that, right? Well, everybody was a stockbroker back then. They were good guys, but concentrating on the dollar too much, right, Jay?
Sure.
So I
People are
taught my
hyper-focused on
kids.
that.
My wife is not like that. My kids are not like that. And my friends in general are not like that. Work hard to have nice things, but never throw it in somebody's face.
Are your kids in your business?
No, my son is
Well,
at.
what is the deal? How many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids. My son is at Columbia grad. My daughter went to UCLA. She's in California. I got to get her back here.
Yeah. Get
Yeah,
her back.
and I made it to like 15 in school, so I'm very proud of both of them. My wife
That's
was pretty
awesome.
smart. Must have had a smart wife, right?
Yeah,
So
must have.
but yeah, so basically, Jay, you want education for your kids. I didn't want them to feel the grind, but in the last 6, 7 years with Never Right Stock, it became fun again. Like I wish I would have had this younger. Maybe I would have got them on the trail to get them to Never Right Stock.
They don't have interest in it?
My daughter, I think, has some. My
Really?
son's going to be a vet, so
Oh,
I
that's awesome.
I don't want to pull him away from that.
That's
you
a
know?
nice thing, helping animals.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
some people do things that are actually, really helpful. in
Jerry,
life,
my son
right?
goes to a soup kitchen on Sunday. I'm
Does he
embarrassed.
really?
Yeah, not
Oh
me.
my
You know,
God. We're
yeah.
just going to buy soup.
Where you buy soup. Yeah, there you
I'm
go.
going to Panera Bread. He's
I
handing it
do
out.
like Panera Bread.
It is nice
Shout
broccoli
out. We
cheddar.
could use you as a sponsor. For
Shout
this
out
podcast.
broccoli cheddar. That's cool. Okay, so anyway, to backtrack a little, so 2001, you do the 10. When did the rest of it? Are you just like, I gotta just do as much as I can?
So I told you when I got the idea to bring on partners and start sharing, and not want to take on the world, it got a lot easier for me, and not just the partners, my attitude, as you get older, when people get old and they say, you'll see, you laugh at them, you laugh at the older guys, right? Well, guess what? You'll see. It's everything.
One day you become one of them.
You worry about it, and you worry about actually what your legacy is. I don't want my legacy to be I chased $1 my whole life. I want it to be I created something. So when Tony and everybody pushed me to do Never Right Stock, I'm like, wow, this is really different, because this is about the person. Never Right Stock, right? Never Right Stock. Have a different sneaker on. Have a car that's customized. Doesn't matter if it's a Honda or a Bentley, right? Never Right Stock. So that was the whole meaning behind it, being individual.
You came up with that name?
Yes, sir.
And, it's funny because the previous podcast, we were actually talking about legacy a little bit. I
Yeah.
mean, how important is your legacy to you?
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything when you get older, because you wonder, did I do enough for people? Did I go further enough? Is my wife going to talk good about me when I'm gone? Are my kids happy? What about my friends?
Right,
Because
right.
In business, as you guys know, you get busy.
You already have a great reputation, though. So
I appreciate
I'm
that.
guessing you've worked on that.
I appreciate that, but it's about not being phony. But you guys realize work consumes you.
It does.
So sometimes your friends, you're not going out as much.
It's
What are you
true.
doing? Oh, I'm going to this work thing. What do you mean? Come have a beer. Like, it does affect your friendships.
It does.
Trying to
Family,
be
friendships,
successful.
everything.
Yeah,
It's not. It's a very hard balance.
Well,
right?
what's your goal? Besides this podcast, what's
Yeah.
your goal?
I think it is something similar, right? You get caught up, and we talk about this a lot. And you have to earn a lot of money because you want to make a good life,
Of course.
for your family and for your
Right.
kids. But, I guess at the end of the day, my goal is very similar.
Respect of your name.
I want that, and I want to create something that people are like, wow, like he was behind that. That's very cool.
You want something left behind
You want
when you
something
leave,
left, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it would be nice if,
You're too young to think about leaving. I don't want to think about leaving either. But you want something left behind.
You do, yeah.
You want people to say, "Wow, that guy was on it." You know what I'm saying?
It's 100% true.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Okay, so now we're at a point where you have these businesses built, right? I mean, you're I'm not gonna say printing, but you're
We're doing good right now.
you're on cruise
Right.
control,
Yeah.
right? It's a car pun. That was good.
Yeah.
You're on cruise control.
We're rolling.
Like, why
Is
do
that
you
a car
still why do you still do it? I'm just curious.
Okay, so
I'm not that you're some super old dude.
No,
I
I
don't
got
even
you.
know how old you.
I got you.
But
It's the love of the game. Do you understand? It's. I almost feel like I'm a basketball player. I almost feel like I'm on the field. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That car show, forget it. I go crazy. But not just that.
you love that.
I love the car show,
You
but I
love
also
that.
love the action. I love when there's cars across the street. We're doing wraps. I love they're tinting. The car wash is rolling. We're over here. We're doing a lift on a car.
You ever just stand up in like the window and you're looking at everything
you
happening
look
at once?
around and you run around. I love when people go, "Hey, what do you think about this? How about when you get to a certain point, everybody goes, what do you think would look good on that?" That's a good feeling.
It is, by the way.
It's a good feeling. Like I
When
know
you want that opinion.
When people dress people, like Mike does furniture, people, like it's a good feeling. People, what do you think?
Yes.
Like, and then that's the final say.
Yes.
They may have orange in their head, and you say purple, and they go, "Yeah, purple," like your sweater, right? Like
Exactly.
like you never. It's a good feeling to be respected.
It's
you know?
true. So
Yeah.
I mean, do you see yourself working till whenever? I mean, like, do you have any plan to stop or?
Don't you hate that thing? If you're happy what you're doing, you never. That's bullshit. Oh, sorry. Like that's
You can
bull.
curse.
Like, yeah.
We're not
yeah.
mandated by the feds over
All right,
here.
but you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's still work, whether you're enjoying it or not.
100%. Get stressed.
Well,
you have issues.
It happens. Will I ever pull the plug? I have to do something creative. If I go with my wife to the St. Martin, she like, I know you're gonna walk right now. Like my mind is always
Right.
I can't slow it
You
down.
just have one of the. I mean,
It's-
we have creatives, which I consider myself as well. You just have a different mind, right? It's always going. I mean, there's times when I text Will at 2 a.m. and
Yeah, but that's beautiful.
and and then sometimes he answers because he has the same type of mind,
But
right?
well, that's beautiful.
And it's a weird thing. Like I can't sometimes turn off, right? Sometimes I will literally not sleep for basically the night. Maybe I'll get 2 hours because I'm just going, right? Even this podcast, like what am I going to talk about next? Who am I going to have on? Like, where are we going? Like, and then I have 100 other things, right? So that does happen. So I can see that. So I don't know how I'm ever going to turn off either.
It doesn't turn off. It doesn't
Right.
turn off. But especially if you're a creative guy.
Yeah.
Like it's different if a guy says, I own 20 pizzerias, and I respect that so much. Like, say, shout out to Mike Bertolino's. Like,
By the way, I love
it's
pizza.
hard
And
work,
Danino's,
right? Yeah, I love Danino's
That's
too.
a
right.
nice pie.
Right, but it's hard work, right? I'm talking about creative.
Oh, yeah, it's
and he's
totally
creative.
different.
But like, just to be creative, to say, hey, you know what? I want to build this enterprise on this creative idea.
100%.
Yeah. Something that wasn't done before, right?
It is a different. I mean, like I have friends who are accountants, right?
Right.
Nothing wrong. It's actually great.
It's awesome.
They have very
Yeah.
nice lives. I have friends
Right.
who are programmers and I
You're
have friends who
wired
are
differently.
janitors.
You're
right?
wired differently.
It's just different,
Yeah.
right? It's not the same thing, right? And they probably can't wait to retire. Once I hit that 65, I'm not big into that whole like once I hit that 65, and then, like I kind of just want to live now, right? Like I want to do the things
In
I
the
want to
present.
do in the present. Like I don't want to think about that.
So,
who
Jeremy,
knows if we'll get
I
there?
used to live my life in 5-year increments. I want this in 5. I want this in 5. Guess what? When you get up at 57,
You started
you want to
going-
live in day increments. It's not 5 years now. What am I doing tomorrow? What am I doing next week? What am I doing next month? And it's funny. Like when I think about my family, right? Like my wife is very creative. My daughter's very creative. My son can't sit still like me. Like he's got to be doing a project. He's got to be like, doing something with Columbia, like in the field. Like it's good to keep moving, guys. That's all I could tell you. I was told when I was younger, you're like a shark. If you stop swimming, you're going to die. So
Ooh.
I don't ever want to stop
I like
swimming.
that. How important is family to you?
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything. You can't speak to anybody. If anybody says something different,
Yeah,
this-
it does annoy me sometimes when like people, I'll like watch other podcasts or like I'll listen to something, and like they talk so much about like, well, the first thing is like my business, and it's like I don't get it.
You saw the Jerry West interview?
No, I didn't.
So Jerry West said, my family knew business was first. And I'm not speaking anything bad about Jerry West. Like he admitted it.
He's not
Like
listening.
he just got consumed. Like, and I get consumed, but it's never more important than my family.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, like it's weird. Like I have a 5 and 6 year old right now, about to be 7. And I mean, do you remember so clearly when your kids were 5 and 7?
So I'll give you a quick one. So when we were building Wheel Concepts, so the building was still in my father's name at the time. So he was living in Florida. So I was putting up Wheel Concepts, not with his help monetarily.
Sure.
And my wife called him up in Florida and said, Bobby, your son is putting up a building tomorrow. And he's like, he can't put up a building. He goes, the property is in my name. And I'm going to get to the point about the kids.
No, please.
And he flies overnight from Florida. And he goes, he can't do that. And she goes, Bobby, you have the same name, Rob Gullery. So I went to the building department and said, I want to put up this building. I didn't want his money. I just wanted to put up the building. I know you'd say you're crazy.
That's what happened?
So I put up the building with Wheel Concepts.
Oh
He
my
flies in
God.
and he runs to the building and he goes, where's my son? The steel is going up on a Saturday, which we shouldn't have been putting the steel up on a Saturday. Back then we got away with it. But the point was, he goes, where's my son? He's at soccer practice. So I left while the building was going up to coach my son in soccer down the block. And he shows up to soccer practice. What are you doing?
Oh
I said, I'm coaching Rob in soccer.
Oh
so
my
he goes,
God.
you got to get to the building. So yeah, that's like one of the stories.
Yeah.
That family is more important than even a building going up at that moment. You know?
That's a big thing too, right? Like I always said, like I used to work for, more like corporate companies back in
Right.
the day, et cetera. But I always wanted to make sure that I was the baseball coach. Like I was there for these big moments. Like that was a big thing for my own childhood too, right? Like my
Right.
dad always coached us. Like
It
those are
matters.
core memories. I think it matters just in terms of like who you become, et
Of course
cetera.
it matters. But
So it's just interesting when you come across, super successful people and you can still have that balance. It's just time. You just have to pack it all in there.
But Jeremy, so back then, so we were paying off the building. So we were working 7 days, right? And back then, not to get into all the, my father got divorced, so we weren't flush. My father worked his whole life just to pay off across the street. So we're not like the Kennedys, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We came into wealth later in life, right?
Sure.
But if you didn't have a wife back then
Yeah.
that could hold it down with the kids, how would you go do all this?
It's weird. Now is even
It's
more
hard because
different,
usually
right?
two people are working,
Exactly.
right?
Especially
So-
now with
And my wife had a great job. She worked
What'd she do?
compliance for a great brokerage company. She was making great money.
great
She gave that up.
all
but
your benefits through her.
yeah, it was great at the time, right?
Yeah.
But at that time, you felt like you were privileged to. Your wife didn't have to work.
Yeah.
In retrospect, I don't know what's right or what's wrong. You know what I'm saying?
It's.
But
I don't think there is
yeah,
one.
There's no right answer to that. But
Yeah.
the point was, if I didn't have Susan there, I would have been in tough waters.
How do you decompress? I mean, like, what are your? I mean, your work is kind of like your hobbies anyway, because it's all the stuff you love.
Right,
Like,
right.
are there things that you do to? Like,
I'm working on that.
Do you ever disconnect?
I'm
I mean,
work-
I text you. I mean, it was a few weeks ago when you had. So obviously, you work closely with the presenting sponsor of the show, Island Auto Group.
right.
Doing most of their work for the customization.
Love those guys.
And we had Dante DiVincenzo, and I don't even remember what it was. Like we had to have him come film something at your basketball court, and I text you. And you're like in the middle of where were you?
I think it was. I don't know. Is it Indiana? I don't
No,
know.
you were in a different country.
Oh, I was in St. Martin.
Yeah, you're like it was like 2 a.m. or something. It was like you're like but I'm gonna call this person, set it up in my head. I think I wrote to you like just
Yeah.
stop talking to me. Like do what
yeah,
you need to
did.
do.
You said enjoy your trip. Yeah.
I mean,
you said enjoy your trip.
do you decompress at all?
Listen, I have a great time when I go with my wife or my family, but I don't know. It's just
Like do you watch TV? I don't think you watch TV shows.
all right. So I
I
started.
can't see you sitting down.
I do a little Netflix at night if I got a good
Netflix
series.
and chill?
Yeah, Netflix and chill. There
Okay.
you go.
Yeah.
But no, when the weather's nice, I'm out and about. I take my, even in the city, like I'll
Yeah.
walk with my dog till 10 o'clock at night. Me and my wife will go out. Like I'm not good at sitting down. In
Yeah,
the winter, I hibernate a little bit, but once the weather breaks, I'm gone.
That's
gone.
amazing.
Yeah.
So for people who are, let's just say, starting out, right, in the auto industry or in the customization industry or anything creative, whatever, I mean, what would you say to them? Like, you started. Let's just backtrack here. You started as a mechanic, right?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
changing oil, right?
Yeah.
You I don't know if you always had these big dreams, but they came to you. What would you say?
So I'd say it's a lot harder now. And I'm not squashing anybody's dreams because there's so many opportunities for young people. But you really have to be the best
Yeah.
at what you do if you're going to make it now. If you want, especially if you want to customize vehicles, mechanics. And I hate to say this because I have a mechanic shop. we got about another 10, 15 years left before the dealers, Island Auto Group included, eat us up. You know what I'm saying? So mechanics is getting tough. It
Yeah.
really is. It's getting
Yeah.
hard to be a mechanic shop. But as far as the customizing, you have to be the best.
Will at some point, like, do you think that automation will come in and delete a lot of this stuff? Like, at one point, you think someone's going to be able to drive their car in and just a machine wraps it?
That's a great thing. As far as that, no. But as far as repairs, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So back to the question. So you say it's very hard now. You got to be the best.
You have to be one of the best because you have to have everything. You can't just be talented. You have to have a personality. You have to have a good beat on social media. You have to have money behind you.
Yeah.
You can't just say, I'm going to open up with 30,000 behind me, because you don't know what's going to happen.
100%.
Right? You have to choose wisely. You can't do everything. I'm lucky enough to do everything right now. Like I said, I have 4 partners, so I could touch everything.
That's great.
But it's not easy by yourself to do everything.
So, I mean, you think it's sound advice would be to find someone who has, like, liked interests as you
Without a doubt.
and try to build something?
So what I've been seeing a lot of people doing is a guy who's very good at vinyl, hooking up with a guy who's very good with tints, hooking up with a guy who's very good at customizing.
Sure.
And you get together. And you get together as a
You
team.
form that super team.
I think that's the way to do it moving forward.
Yeah.
Because it's getting difficult.
Is
Rents are very high.
School important?
To be educated on your product, yes. Like Expel has classes all the time. We
Sure.
all go. It's very important. Because products are always changing now.
College, like for trade type of stuff.
Absolutely not. Save the money.
By the way, college is really changing, right? Like if you know you want to be a tradesman, there's no point to go to college,
Correct.
except to just go out and do whatever you're
Right,
gonna do in
right.
college.
People want that 4 years before they have to work all the time.
Exactly, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the trade
What,
schools
you went to
now-
college, right? I'm sure.
I did, yeah.
And
yeah.
did you go for what you do now?
No,
See?
it's probably. I mean, my MBA I did.
Right.
It was business. Yeah, I do business, but I mean undergrad. I don't even know what the percentage is.
It's
It's got to be like 10% people.
Yeah. When I was 17, I believe 99% of my high school went to college.
Wow.
when
Where'd you grow up?
Moore. I went to Moore in Staten Island. I went to Moore High School, and I
Born
remember,
and raised.
Yeah, and I remember telling everybody, I'm a petroleum transport engineer, because I was doing oil changes for my father when I was 17.
That's amazing.
So that was my line, as everybody's like, I'm in college. Well, I'm a
Yes.
petroleum transport engineer.
Yeah,
What is that? Let's leave it at that. Here's another shot. We don't have to talk about that.
That's
yeah.
amazing. I
Yeah.
like that. So Staten Island, born and raised. Went to. Give me some of your iconic places on Staten Island that you go to. Maybe restaurants or.
So I used to go out a lot until every time I went out, somebody would say, hey, can I talk to you about my caddy? Or can I talk to you about my Chevy? And then I
Right.
stopped going out on Staten Island. I started going out in the city and was lucky enough to get a little apartment out in the city,
Right.
a long time ago. So, yeah.
But what are some of your favorite places?
Lee's Tavern.
Lee's Tavern.
It's-
By the way,
it's a local place. It's awesome.
good pizza.
Look,
I've had like that clam pie.
yeah.
It's
Lee's
good.
Tavern.
What
Don't-
else?
Don't sleep on Danino's.
Danino's is an
Yeah.
excellent bar pie.
Don't sleep on Danino's.
Agree.
If I don't mention Franny, I have to mention everybody now because it's going to be a problem. I love Prime also.
What's Prime?
Prime Pizza's right over here down the block.
Okay. What about Royal Crown?
Royal Crown. I still
Royal
get
Crown is
sandwiches from
awesome,
them.
by the
yeah,
way.
I got sandwich from them last night. I got a nice steak sandwich from them last night. A lot of people go to Esca's, right? A lot of people go to John LaRocca.
So I heard there's this new place that people are going crazy for, Nona's.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying that that's the best pizza on Staten Island. Is there truth to that?
It is a great pizza. I think he's still waiting for the slice guy to go there and do the one slice.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Portnoy?
Yeah, Dave Portnoy, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I've seen it online. It looks very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so
there you go. We heard the same thing. Very nice family right away, Franny and his son.
okay,
Yeah,
good. So
yeah.
that's Staten Island for you. How do you like living in the city?
So people talk a lot of garbage about the city.
Manhattan, by the way.
Yeah.
Not the city.
No, I don't. Please.
Yeah.
Well, when I first moved there, they were like, "Where you from?" And I would go Brooklyn because I was ashamed, right? Because
Isn't that
Staten Island was
crazy?
such a shit show, right?
Wow.
But I love Staten Island.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
member of the Chamber of Commerce. I just love Staten Island.
Sure.
My grandfather, my father to me. You know what I'm saying? I love Staten Island. I have great memories of Staten Island as a kid. And I don't think the island is as bad as everybody says.
Yeah,
My-
people talk about it, but
we don't have a lot of culture.
Right.
That's why I try to do the sneakers and everything upstairs, because we are lacking culture, but that's not our fault. All we have is Snug Harbor. You know, Brooklyn has all the museums.
Of course.
Queens is the center for food in the world, right? The Bronx, hip hop, right? Graffiti, right? Think about it. New York City, and then Long
Staten
Island.
Island,
You're a
Sta-
Long Island guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're bougie, right? So Long Island's bougie. I used to meet the guys
Staten
from Long
Island's
Island.
got Italians.
Yeah,
That's what Staten Island's got. That's what they say.
We used to go to the Hamptons, and you guys would go Strong Island, and we'd be like, "Yeah, we're from Staten Island."
I wasn't
whatever.
one of those guys.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, so now we fast forward, right? You know, you have these businesses, right? Living a nice life. What is next? You're just gonna keep working, and
No.
do you have any other business
No.
plans coming up?
So now that we got the sneaker cleaner and the
What's a sneaker cleaner, by the way? Because
it's-
there's
it's-
you know this viral. You see this viral sneaker cleaner? It's basically a magic eraser.
yeah, I have that
You
in my
seen
kit.
that thing?
Yeah,
It's
I
like
have
a
it in
re-
my
you
kit.
have it?
That's for suede. Yeah,
I need to come get
yeah,
that. by
I'll
the
give
way.
you. I'll give
Yeah,
you a kit.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
But now that I have the cornerstones all set up with the car cleaning products and the sneaker cleaner products, I got my cars and kicks all set up. Now it's time to start talking about people at the next move. We got a lot of people that we're speaking to about Never Right Stock itself.
Really, like opening new locations in different areas?
We are opening up in 6 weeks down by Amboy Road, another shop. We're converting a shop in Brooklyn, and we have 2. Remember,
Really?
Expel is big on boats now. We have
Yes,
we
that's a
have-
huge business now.
Yes, it is. So
It's for like salt protection, right?
very good.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You see, I'm educated.
Long Island and West Palm. So yeah, we have a lot of things happening this year. I wanted to wait. I don't want to just put stuff out there to say, "Hey, look, I have these spots." You know what I mean?
You think you'll ever have like a place in West Palm at some point? Be a little
I'm not a
snowbird.
Florida guy.
You little snowbird?
No, I'm not that guy. bro.
No, you don't like alligators?
I don't like being bored. You know, you
Right.
kill me
The
if you want to
capital
put
of
me in
boredom.
Florida for 5 months a
Oh
year.
my God.
Sorry. And shout out to Florida. It's a great place to visit, but no, I don't want to live there.
But there is a future to open new locations.
So it's the boat capital of the world, Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Of the world. Of the world.
Is that true?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, all the yachts come through there. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a fun fact before we finish up. So, do you know how the yachts get to Europe?
I mean, you know, my mind would tell me they go on the water, but no, I don't know.
It's not. So, what they do
Are
is...
they on a plane or something?
That's a great thing. So, they take about 150 footers. They put them in an oil tanker that's full of water. They float them into an oil tanker. They close it. There's flotation below it. They lower the water out. The boats sit on these flotation devices, and the tanker takes them to Europe for the summer.
Really?
Yeah. I learned that all through Expel.
Wow,
and
that's
being
got to
around
be an
the boat thing.
expensive
So,
thing. I mean, it doesn't matter if he's yacht owners,
if it's
but-
100,000, think of the wear and tear on a boat that's worth $5 million, right?
Right,
What's
and it would take
100,000?
so
Yeah.
long. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, Jay, you throw 100,000, we get your boat down to Europe. What's
yeah,
the
it's
big
no
deal?
problem.
Yeah.
Connect me with them.
Trailer a car to California, 1,300 is more my thing. You
Right,
know,
it's
Yeah.
crazy. Okay,
Shout out to DJ Ski. We do his car all the time.
so
Yeah.
very cool. So a game we play here, you know, the podcast is presented by Island Auto Group, who's
Good.
you know a good friend of yours.
Good.
Is a game called Drive Garage Junkyard. Okay,
Good.
it's the same concept as Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Okay.
You know that game?
Yes, good.
I mean, we can play a couple rounds of that
We're
too.
not
but
going to do that.
We're
Go
not
ahead.
going to do it.
Yeah, good.
So we'll do Drive Garage Junkyard. You get the concept, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to give you 3 cars,
Good.
and you're going to tell me what you're going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a Dodge Charger Hellcat.
Good.
I'm going to give you a Porsche Taycan, the
Mhm.
electric one,
Mhm.
turbo. And I'm going to give you a Mercedes E63.
Okay. So what are my options? Drive.
So you're going to drive one, you're going to garage one. So the drive one is your everyday, garage is special occasions, junkyard is you're going to kill it.
Okay. I'm not big on electric.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to kill it.
Wow. Taycan, see you later.
I was in one. Somebody took me for a ride. I wasn't ready for it. They hit it up on the railroad over here. I almost threw up.
Oh, it's the craziest
I
thing.
almost threw
the
up, yeah.
feeling
I was
in
never in
electric.
an electric car.
It's different.
It was worse than the Hulk ride at Universal Studios. Yeah, I almost threw up.
All right.
I got out of the car. So,
So
kill that.
Taycan can go to the junkyard.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Goodbye. Kill that.
Later, Porsche.
I will definitely want to drive the Dodge on weekends. Put that in the garage.
So put that in the garage.
Yeah.
That Hellcat.
And
Your everydayer is going to be that E63.
That's a fun drive. I had a nice E-Sport back in the day.
Did you?
Yeah. That's
So
a fun drive.
I mean, do you find and good job with that? Do you find like is there a big difference between because you were a mechanic, German build quality as opposed to Japanese as opposed to American?
See, it's tough because I don't want to ever knock an American car because I believe so much in this country. So a BMW, I'm sorry, is just made and drives better than most vehicles. I know everybody's getting close.
I love BMW.
All right, so
love it. You're speaking to the right guy.
Listen, I'm driving a Ford Bronco, and I had a Jeep many years from now.
Jeeps are great trucks.
Probably go back to Jeep. I don't mean it like that, but there is nothing like an X5.
It's the best truck made.
Just feels beautiful.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, and if you ask anybody who knows cars, they're going to tell you the same thing.
I agree.
Yeah, they're going to tell you the same thing. But buy American first if you can.
Yeah, I mean,
buy
listen,
your first 2 cars American.
The honest truth is, I mean, there are like, dude, that Jeep Trackhawk is a banana.
It's a beast.
The thing is bananas.
397. This
oh
is great.
My God.
I mean,
there's
Jeeps
a lot
out
of crazy
there.
trucks. That new Durango, Hellcat. I mean, there's definitely a lot of good American cars, but there are different build qualities, and Japanese apparently, and now the Korean ones, Hyundai, Kia. Those are. The thing that I'm finding, obviously,
Kia makes a nice truck now.
So
by the
being
way.
around it all the time is every new car is nice.
Yep.
Right. It's like gone are the days where like you have to have a Mercedes or BMW or Lexus, right, to be luxurious. I mean, this Hyundai Palisade. Have you seen this thing?
It's beautiful.
It's unbelievable.
But Jeremy, you don't have to own your car because if you just put on your Instagram somebody else's car, that's how they think your life really is, right?
It's true.
Yeah, live your Instagram life. That doesn't have to be your real life.
So you guys have a big social following. So like, how important is social for you guys?
No, it is important.
Right?
When I said it was interruption marketing, I was just making a point. I learned from a guy who makes $400,000 a year marketing for Expel.
Yeah.
I was just making a point that it is more about relationships with the high-end cars.
Sure.
And your reputation.
Yeah.
But you have to have social media.
Social's funny though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can
personal social media is very funny.
Very
you would think
funny,
that
right?
People are just living their best life.
It's a really weird thing though, because like you get sucked into it too. Like I specifically write on my own social media. I work with a lot of brands and companies that like only follow me. You're gonna be bored. You're gonna see my kids. You're gonna see like me playing golf, whatever. Right. It's not fun.
Is it good golf?
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want this.
All right.
And
if I start playing, give me about 3 months and then we'll play. But
okay.
Back to you.
No problem. Right. But what's funny about social is, and I did this about 2 months ago. I posted a picture on my stories with my son with a nebulizer mask on.
Okay.
And I posted it because it was 3 a.m. I was sitting there, and everybody's only posting like their son,
hitting a home run,
or them in St. Martin, or them in their friend's Lamborghini or their own, or whatever it is, right? But nobody, like, it is so rare to find someone posting like, and I wrote something like, "This is like real life. This is the real side of it, right?"
I like that, Jeremy.
I'm sitting up with my son at 3 a.m. Kid can't breathe. He has asthma. Has the nebulizer on. Like, you want to know what it's really like?
I'm sorry you're going through that, but that is real. Yeah.
Thank you. But that's like, and so like sometimes I'll catch myself like, and Will tell you. I mean, I still do post all the awesome golf courses I play. All the cool things I do, which is a lot of cool things. I'm blessed like that. But
are you a member of Due Process?
Socials? No, I'm not. But one of my a bunch of my very good friends, I go there whenever I want. Let's put it that way.
Good for you. You know Tony Hooks?
Yeah, of course. Okay. Yeah. So he does a great job with that golf course.
Unbelievable.
Great job with that place.
My friend got him the job there.
That place.
Danny got him the job.
Did he really?
Yeah.
That place is special. Anyone who plays golf, if you have the chance to get to Due Process, the best hang in the world.
I went there for their Wednesday night.
The dinner, the family dinner.
We'll call it the family dinner.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Just leave it alone.
It's excellent. Those long hot peppers.
Yes, the long hot peppers. You
can't forget it.
Vic brings those.
It's amazing. But yeah, I mean, that's why social media is weird. It's like you're only getting the best from everyone, right?
Correct.
So anyway, that's what we do. But Rob, your story is very inspiring. I mean, from mechanic to basketball court, I'll keep saying it, in his office to 5 different businesses, not 4, 5 different businesses.
Jeremy, thank you.
Soon to, and you do a great job with everything. Super well respected. Awesome to have you come talk about everything. I really appreciate you being on.
I enjoyed it. I don't think we had a good synergy here. I had a hard time talking.
Yeah, exactly. I think we were good, bro. Thanks,
you. Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, Will.